Hey guys, Christopher here. I'm very excited to share with you my first sneaker review ever, and it is probably the best sneaker of 2025. Cincinnati-based Unheardof brand collaborated with Adidas on the Adistar Cushion 3. After a few delays and some amazing marketing, Unheardof brand finally released their pack on the Adistar Cushion 3 on March 29th. Leading up to the release of these sneakers, we were only aware of the pink pair. As we got closer to the release date, we learned that those were going to be limited to 1,500 pairs. And just before the in-person event in Cincinnati, they announced there would also be a Friends and Family blue version that was limited to only 1,000 pairs. It also appears that there is a more exclusive Friends and Family version on StockX. There's a pair that kind of blends the pink and blue together. I enjoy the colors on the original pack more than I do that limited Friends and Family pair. Now, I don't live anywhere close to Cincinnati, so I wasn't able to go to that in-person event. I was hoping there would be leftover pairs online for me to purchase on the 29th. Unfortunately, I struck out online. Unheardof did a fantastic job of disguising this product on their website so that true fans could find it. They actually uploaded a product labeled Feed. The stock photo was a picture of characters from VeggieTales, and I think they released on social media that that was a product that you had to cart in order to buy the shoes. Unfortunately, I just wasn't paying enough attention, so I was not able to get these sneakers at retail. Now, I definitely preferred the blue pair to the pink pair, so I waited patiently after release. Eventually, the prices went down on the secondary market, and I was able to secure a pair for a price that I could live with. So the packaging alone on this sneaker is special. I find it hard to believe that we're gonna get better packaging on any releases for the rest of 2025. I think this automatically puts this sneaker in the conversation of one of the most creative releases of the year so far. I think the sneaker itself just puts it over the top for me, being contention for sneaker of the year for 2025. As we take a close look at the box, we see the Unheardof branding, running for love, as a little tagline for the sneaker. We see the skyline for Cincinnati in the background behind the mascot here for this pair, which is Pork Chop, the pig. He's wearing Adidas sweatbands, Adidas headbands, got an Unheardof tank top on, and he's holding two balloons that have some Valentine's Day messages on them. Right on the side of the box, we see several hearts throughout, and we get to this unique shoe label where instead of your traditional rectangular box, we have the title of the shoe code, the shoe color code, and the size all inside of this red heart. We also see Pork Chop again next to the heart. On the back side of the shoebox, we see those pig eyes for Pork Chop with the love you. This is in contrast to the pink shoebox, which is very clearly supposed to be a container for the Valentine's Day heart candies. Here we see just the little Valentine's Day hearts all around the shoebox. I'm a big fan of this mascot Pork Chop here and the story behind the branding on this release. Here's from Unheardof's blog post on the release. The Unheardof Adidas Pork Chop Piggy Runners pay tribute to those who refuse to be counted out. Growing up, you may have been the little piggy everyone doubted. Too lame, poor, ugly, or short. But while they talked, you kept reaching for something greater. When the winds blew, you stood your ground. When the wolves showed their teeth, you laced up and left them in the dust. Every challenge, every doubter, it was all fuel. The Unheardof Adidas Piggy Runners are inspired by those who never let the world define their worth. For the little pork chop who refused to quit, this one's for you. So with packaging alone, this is a very special sneaker. I think the things that come inside of it elevate it even more and really puts it in contention for the best sneaker of 2025. So you look inside of the cover, you see the pig eyes again for Pork Chop with the Unheardof branding inside the box. One of the first things you'll notice inside the box is this little plush toy of Pork Chop again. You'll notice on the sweatbands and the headbands are Adidas logos and the Unheardof branding on the tank top there for Pork Chop. You also receive the actual sweatbands and headbands. I think in the pink version of the release, there were pink headbands and sweatbands. Also Unheardof branding and Pork Chop on the wristbands. You got a nice little Unheardof sticker that comes with it. Very interesting here, air freshener, ping tag for your car. Really cool here, Valentine's Day cards right? These can actually be ripped out like the ones we used to trade in school. On the back, it says to and from with the Adidas trefoil logos on them. I mean, very, very creative here by Unheard Of. Also comes with a little pork chop keyring. If we put the shoes to the side here for a second, we can see Pork Chop again inside the box with his Adidas headband on. Okay, before we get a closer look at this amazing pair of sneakers, I wanted to give you a little bit of information about the history of the Adistar Cushion 3. This silhouette was originally released by Adidas in 2005. It was designed to be a running shoe at the time. After a long hiatus and the resurgent style of the tech runner in streetwear, Adidas re-released the Adistar Cushion 3 in 2023. It was met with some high praise at the time, but pairs did eventually go on sale at several retailers. In 2024, Adidas started collaborating with Australia-based Song for the Mute, and the Adistar Cushion 3 featured heavily in their releases. That started to bring a little bit of popularity and demand back for that sneaker, which is now currently doing well and has led to this collaboration between Adidas and Unheard Of brand, and I think they knocked it out of the park. All right, let's get a closer look at the sneaker itself. As we start at the toe box, you'll see a very thin layer of mesh in a light blue color with a light blue padding visible underneath the mesh. As we go to the lateral side of the sneaker, you can see some suede overlays that are in a little bit of a darker tone of blue. As we zoom in on those stripes there, we can see artificial pony hair there in that pink color. Going around to the heel of the shoe, you can see the pork chop eyes on the back. This is on the right sneaker in the pair. The medial side looking largely like the lateral side. On the tongue of the right pair, we have the Adidas logo. It might be a little challenging to see, but there is also Adistar cushioning branding on the tongue as well. I'll show you some photos of the insoles of this shoe. I don't like taking this kind of insole out because they're not easily removable. They're that really kind of sticky kind that goes onto that board underneath. I don't like taking those out. I like keeping them in place where they are. The midsole of the sneaker features Adiprene Plus in the front and regular Adiprene in the back. It also features the torsion bar system. That is what this clear plastic portion is on the midsole. On the outsole of the right sneaker, we see Pork Chop's eyes underneath in addition to some Adidas branding on the heel. The left sneaker is very much like the right sneaker with just a few differences. On the heel, we have the Adidas trefoil logo instead of Pork Chop's eyes. And on the tongue, we have Pork Chop's face instead of the trefoil logo. On the outsole of the sneaker, we also see Pork Chop instead of his eyes. I'm a big fan of this silhouette. I really enjoy the overlays that go underneath the stripes. I really enjoy the mesh pattern that's on the sneaker. And I really love this colorway on this collaboration. Right, I never got any of the re-releases, any of those general release colorways. I did get a Song for the Mute collaboration on this, and we'll talk about some of the key differences between the Song for the Mute and the Unheard Of collaboration in a few moments. But this is definitely my favorite colorway of all of the Adistar Cushion 3 releases that have come out recently. Oh, forgot to mention that we also get an extra pair of pink laces that go with this. That might look good, I'm not sure. I might put those in, we'll see. All right, now it's time to get these on feet, show you what it looks like, tell you about the sizing and the comfort. I really enjoy the on-foot look of these sneakers. Love the color pops from this shoe. In terms of comfort, I find this very comparable to other popular tech runners. Saucony's Pro Grid Omni 9, New Balance 2002R, Asics Gel Kayano 14. This is on par with the comfort of those sneakers. I don't think any of those shoes that I've mentioned stands out from another in terms of comfort. It's definitely not on par with the comfort of something like an Ultra Boost, right? But for this style of tech runner, very comfortable sneaker. When it comes to the fit for this sneaker, I went true to size. I ordered a size 13, which is my typical size. I wear size 13 for New Balance 2002Rs, for those Saucony Pro Grid Omni 9s, for things like Asics Gel Light 3, Gel Kayano 14s, I wear size 13. Got size 13 for this, and it fits great. Just a little bit of room in the toe box when I put that on, but I prefer that. So I do want to give you a word of warning though. If you are interested in getting Adistar Cushion 3s other than this collab, if you go for general releases, you'll get the same fit that you'll get on this sneaker. If you're interested in the Song for the Mute collaborations though, there are certain pairs in those releases that run big. For example, this pair of Song for the Mutes, you might be able to tell there is a thin layer of mesh all throughout the shoe. So instead of having this padded cushioning underneath the mesh on the medial side, it is all like a see-through thin layer of mesh, and that causes the shoe to run big because you don't get that padded layer underneath the mesh of the sneaker. So when I ordered a size 13 for that shoe, it was far too large on me. So I exchanged my size 13 for a size 12.5, but then I found that on the middle of my foot, it was too tight on that 12.5. Even though the room had been fixed, it wasn't too big anymore, it was too tight here in the middle. And you'll see on the lacing of this sneaker, the laces go into these little loops here instead of going through traditional lace holes like they are at the top. They're connected to these little loops here, and those loops actually run all the way down. So as you tighten the sneaker, it tightens around the midfoot, and going down a half in size for this Song for the Muse just made that area too tight. So I wasn't able to keep that shoe at all because I didn't have a size that fit me comfortably. Don't have a problem with that on these though in a size 13. So your regular general releases of the Adistar Cushion 3 and this collaboration with Unheardof fit me great in a size 13. All right guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review on the Adistar Cushion 3 collaboration with Adidas and Unheardof brand. I cannot recommend this sneaker enough. I think it is the best shoe of 2025 so far. It's gonna be hard to beat this one for me. If you're interested in seeing more sneaker reviews from me in the future, I plan to do a lot of them. So subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you then, guys. Bye.